Hello there guys, and welcome to another video. I'm hoping you're having a wonderful day, and I'm hoping you're excited for Heart of Thorns as much as I am. I know I really am, even though with all the pricing and all the salt that's come with it. Before I start getting into the subjects, I'm just going to mention I wanted to post this video out the day after E3, Wednesday basically, but the thing is I came down with parotitis. And what that did was just inflate my cheeks and inflate the lower part of my jaw to the point where like I looked like a chipmunk frog kind of creature for a couple of days. I'm doing a lot better now though, so I decided to record this just so that I could get this out as soon as possible. I didn't want, E3 to be late news before I posted up the video about it. So at E3, they did the huge reveals, which are guild halls, and the pricing for basically the pre-ordering for Guild Wars 2. Now, behind one of them, there's a lot of hate. There's a lot of hate and salt, which basically overshadows the announcement that they did. I honestly, most of what I've been hearing isn't even about guild halls after E3. Like most of what I've been hearing is just about the pricing of the game and how people are feeling saddened by it and they weren't expecting it. But I'm gonna get into that a little bit later into the video. First of all, let's get hyped up for guild halls. So if you guys saw the trailer, you'll know the guild halls are huge. Like, these are enormous. If you've read up on it, you know that there's two different types of guild halls. One called the Gilded Hollow and the other one called the Lost Precipice. The Gilded Hollow, I believe, is probably the giant hall where all the vines and it looked like a normal room kind of thing, but it still had its own taste and feel. And then my favorite, the Lost Precipice, seemed to be the giant valley with the bridges connecting it, and it looked freaking amazing. I really like how we're gonna have to conquer and take over these things rather than just buy it. Like, having to release it is a really cool idea for me for guild halls, because I honestly was expecting them to just say, oh, you're gonna have to pay, I don't know, 10,000 gold for this. It's really hard and you need basically 100 people to pitch in for you and help you out. But no, that's not the case. I like the way that they went, and I think it's a good decision, as well as the way that it influences in other game modes such as World v World. That World v World shit, man, it looked so cool. Like, it actually made me, somebody who doesn't play World v World frequently or at all maybe, want to just jump into the game mode and just go for it, man. Like, I don't know, like, for me, World v World, roaming around as a Zerg kind of like turned me off a little bit, but this makes it look so much more epic. This is almost like a siege, like a real siege of a castle, and like it made it so much more in depth for me, and it hyped me up for World v World. I actually kind of want to play it now. Okay, so guild arenas. Guild arenas, in my opinion, is probably their response to people saying, oh, there's no real GVG. If you guys remember when the first Stronghold beta came out, or even before then when they announced Stronghold, a lot of people were complaining that, oh, this isn't GVG, this is just a new PvP game mode with a remade of the old game mode, because people, basically the whole basis for that was the size of the groups weren't big enough for a whole guild. Well, with this, you're probably going to be allowed to have up to like 40, maybe even the amount of people that you would like in your guild arena. Just fill that up, and it looks like this is their response to people basically saying, no, there's no GVG like ArenaNet, this isn't it, this isn't what we wanted. Well, they basically said, here, you can invite other guilds, or you can play with your own guild, invite them into an arena customized by you, so there can't be no complaints basically, and go for it. This kind of leaves me a little bit wondering, like, is the gear gonna influence the stats in the arena, or is it going to be like an SPVP where the stats are kind of baseline and it depends on what sort of amulet you're running? I really hope the gear influences on it, kind of like in World v World, because that would make it unbalanced, right? Just like roaming in World v World's not perfectly balanced because the balance of the game is based around SPVP. If this happens, then this means that there's very little incentive for our currently small community of SPVPers to, leave to just only go play guild arenas. But if there's no balancing, then that means there's that differentiation between guild hall arenas and SPVP, and I think that should stay in the game. That should be a good thing. There's also going to be another couple buildings that I haven't spoken about. The workshop, the tavern, the war room, the mine, the market. These are 5 more, adding up to 6 with the arena. I'm going to go in depth with them in another video because I don't think this was going to be long enough for me to cover all of the topics that I want to talk about. Because I also want to talk about the salt that's been coming on and the pricing after E3. What I'm concerned about though with this is I'm wondering if we're gonna buy these with gold, or your GM's gonna be allowed to, or whether officers will be able to in guilds as well. There will be another option to maybe allow certain people to purchase it, but certain people not to. And it was just a little bit of a concern, because in a guild with like 300 something people, it's probably really hard to get just the right people that you want building stuff, and you don't want just anybody building it. Probably the portal that they showcased at the end, I'm hoping this isn't just a portal into the outside world and that's it. You just basically skip walk and you just skip through the maps. I'm hoping what this is more like dungeons, like guild dungeons, things like that. Basically make an emphasis on you require guild to defeat these dungeons because these dungeons are really hard, or maybe even raiding something huge like 10-man groups, stuff like that. Possibly challenging content, even though they didn't mention it. To be fair, it was a short interview, like it was 7 minutes long I believe, and they didn't get to touch on much of the guild halls. But I believe that they should be heavily related to the challenging content that we've been promised. And this is a very good way of doing it. I really hope ArenaNet sees this as an opportunity and seizes it, because it really is an opportunity to put more emphasis on guilds and more emphasis on being a guild mate. Okay, so on the topic of the salt, also known as people being angry about the release of Heart of Thorns, about the pre-order purchase price for Heart of Thorns. Pre-order purchase price, holy shit, that's kind of funny. The PPP, pre-order purchase price. Okay, but people are no longer, I feel like when they were releasing information, they were speaking, from their love for the game. Like, oh my god, everything's gonna be so cool, everything's gonna be awesome. But now it kind of seems like once ArenaNet touches their wallet, they kind of cross their arms and look at them all angry like, what you gonna give us? We need more. And it's kind of like, that's what money does to people. And I feel like this is actually a very interesting reaction from the community, because up until now, it has basically all been laughs, giggles, joy. Oh my god, yes. Oh my god, this looks so cool. Yay, I'm so excited. And now it's kind of like, okay, ArenaNet, what the fuck? Is this worth? Is this really $50 worth? People want things for free because we've been spoiled for 2 years to receive Living World updates and PvP balance updates. Everything that they're all doing, more narrative, more story, more voice acting, more in depth to the classes, reworks, more features. We're used to receiving these for free, and now that we see a price on it, which is what we've been asking for anyways, it's kind of like, people are just like, oh, please don't touch my wallet. So we kind of want an expansion without a price. I mean, that's a little bit hefty. That was their original plan, but that's a little bit hefty to do. Come on, guys, let's give them some credit here. So when they announced this, they kind of did it in a really cool fashion where they had Colin time it live on the show. I thought that was actually really cool, and that got me really excited. I was like super excited about Guild Halls. I'm like, dude, this all looks so cool. I was on raid call with the rest of the Pug members. We were all watching together, and I'm like, dude, this is just so cool. And then it's kind of like, what? Pre-order? Oh my goodness, go and just start typing everywhere and you just get over there. Okay, in my opinion, guys, I'm gonna lay it flat here. In my opinion, I'm perfectly happy paying the $50 for the expansion. Why? Because I feel like ArenaNet's gonna pull through, and I really enjoy Guild Wars 2. I don't think I've found any other game that I enjoy as much as Guild Wars 2. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this before. And come on, guys, let's face it. They've been giving us Living World for free for 2 years. They've been giving us a lot of stuff for the past couple of years, feature changes and such. A lot of updates. Like this game updates more often than a subscription-based game, and I'm talking about WoW. You know, not to spit salt on it, but you know, Dragon Soul was out for 9 months and nobody really liked the raid anyways, and that was all there was to do for 9 months. And this is a subscription game we're talking about here. Meanwhile, ArenaNet's not even charging us a subscription at all. It's just really, like, honestly, I don't see what I would have to complain about. I like this. I like the decision. $50 is an okay price. I feel like 60 might have been, you know, cost for anger and salt, maybe, just maybe, because that's a full title on basically any game that you want. $50 is kind of like a really good game, but you know, some of them are gonna cost you 60 bucks. It's kind of like an in-between, because Blizzard, referencing to Blizzard again, they charge their expansions at 40. There's another topic. People are getting really angry because they feel like they're being cheated out of money, because ArenaNet's basically offering the newer players, they're offering them, buy Heart of Thorns now and you get the full game for free, the full Guild Wars 2 for free. You know, this is, in my opinion, this is really cool. I mean, World of Warcraft has done it. I've played World of Warcraft since BC, so I paid just about 40 bucks for vanilla, 40 bucks for BC, 40 on Wrath, 40 on Kata, 40 on Mop, and 50 on Warlords. That is 250 bucks, guys, if I counted that correctly. And nowadays, people can get the whole thing for 75 bucks, counting in Warlords. Basically, what I'm trying to get across is, it's normal for MMOs to do this. Like, I know I'm only basing this off of one, but let's face it, if it's not WoW, it's probably not gonna hold much of a candle to you guys. Like, what they're doing here is that they're trying to appeal to, you know, an audience that they don't have, which is obviously what anybody in business will tell you is it's probably the right decision to do. Like, why would you appeal for an audience that it's already loyal to you? Of course, you still have to appeal to them, but not when it comes to, you know, trying to get them started, trying to get an audience into the game right away. You kind of need there to be an incentive for it, and they're basically saying, hey, if you come play our game, here, we'll give you the first one for free, go on ahead and have fun. And they're basically releasing a bunch of updates right now that, like, anybody who played before, like, we're all getting a bunch of updates that are supposed to be Heart of Thorns, but we're just getting them in the base game, because obviously a lot of Heart of Thorns is feature packed. Like, I think ArenaNet explained this, that they want features over content for this expansion. So it's kind of, you know, filled with a bunch of features that they can't not have in the base game. It has to be in the base game because it's becoming a fundamental part of gameplay. So a bit more on Guild Halls. I think I'm going to be doing another video exclusively on Guild Halls, talking about them. It's probably going to be a short one this time, like 7 minutes is what I'm aiming for probably. But I already went through all the buildings. I also did want to mention that there will be decorations, which is something I'm really excited for. The aesthetics for Guild Wars 2, I've always loved them. You know, outfits, being able to skin up your gear the way you want, all the different color schemes, it's all something that I've always liked. So yeah, there's going to be decorations for that. And again, I hope that there will be an option where not only GMs, as in guild masters, get to build these decorations and these buildings. I kind of hope that ArenaNet realizes that some people trust each other enough to give power over this. You know, maybe have a limit on it. Another cool idea would be for the scribe crafting to be like just basically be authorized by a guild master in order for you to become a scribe for that guild. You know what I mean? Like if you're a scribe for that guild, you can start learning how to build stuff for the guild hall in that guild depending on what the guild master authorizes. Alright, well guys, video's gone on for long enough. As always, if you've stuck with me this long, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.